master's education in UCC and master's education in particular in the School of Engineering. So I'll be talking a little bit about some of the other master's programs in the School of Engineering, because I know that the master's, the IT in AEC, that Andre will be talking in a lot more detail. So I'll give you just some background about some of the other masters. Okay. So UCC, just some facts and figures about UCC. UCC has about 20,000 students, about 14,000 undergraduates, 4,500 postgraduates. We're becoming a little bit more international in that we have 3,300 from 104 different countries. We also do continuing education, so we have adult education, we have short courses, long courses for adults to continue their education. Our budget is about 280 million. Most of that comes from the Irish government, but we do have income of about 96 million in research funding into the university. That would come from a number of sources, both Irish government sources, but also more importantly, and with increasing importance, H2020 EU funding, of which this project would be an example of the EU type funding that we get in. Okay? There are 2,800 academic research and administrative staff in the university. Okay, so the university was founded in 1845. It was one of the original Queen's universities in Ireland. So if you know of Queen's University Belfast, that was established at the same time in 1845. The other universities founded at that time would have been the National University of Ireland in Galway. So there was Queen's University in Belfast, the University in Galway, and the University in Cork. Okay. At the time it was formed, it is now a constituent university of the National University of Ireland. Up until 1998, we were University College Cork, so the university was the National University of Ireland. Since 1998, we have our own powers, our own degree awarding powers. So we're still part of the National University of Ireland, but we have our own powers ourselves rather than through the National University of Ireland. So one of the things obviously that's important for the Irish economy is employment of our graduates at the end. And 93% of the undergraduates go either into employment or continue in further education and would do master's courses. Right. As I said, I'm an electronic engineer. I don't know if you've heard of George Boole. So he invented Boolean logic, which is the fundamental of all of the information age. And we're quite proud of the fact that George Boole was the first professor of mathematics in University College Cork. As far as I know, you're doing a tour of the campus this afternoon, so you'll see the Boole Library, which is called after him, and you possibly will also see there is a bust of George Boole. We celebrated the 200th anniversary of his death a number of years ago. Okay, and so I suppose from a UCC point of view, this is our most famous connection in the world. So UCC is, I would like to think, a complete university. We cover all areas in the curriculum. I think the two areas where we're missing, one would be veterinary science, and the other would be physiotherapy. But I think if you were to look at our courses across the university, you will possibly find most things covered there. And the way we're organised is we are broken down into 4 colleges, okay? So we have the College of Arts, Celtic Studies and Social Sciences, the College of Business and Law, the College of Medicine and Health. And then we in engineering sit in the College of Science, Engineering and Food Science, okay? So, what are our strengths? We've been here a long time, that's one thing. I think we're growing more international, although I should say that about 50% of the undergraduates come from Cork County or Cork City. Okay, maybe 40%. About another 30% come from the immediate, the area around. We call it Munster, is the province. If any of you know anything about rugby, you might have heard of the Munster rugby team. So Munster covers some of the more immediate area. So I would say that about 70 to 80% of our students come from a radius of 200 kilometres around Cork City. Okay, but as I said, we do attract some people from Dublin, and we do attract some people from further afield in Ireland. Not a lot, but we do attract some, and obviously we have a growing international student population. Okay, research is quite important in the university. As I showed you, 96 million income. It's a big portion of our income. It's very important. And I'll talk a little bit about the research in the School of Engineering in a minute. One of the things we are quite proud of is we were one of the first universities in the world to go after the green flag with regard to having a green campus. And it's, we're also ranked second in the Green Metric World University Rankings. Okay? So we mightn't be as high as we would like with regard to the research rankings, but we are quite proud of the fact that from a green point of view, we are. And one of the things I note, for example, as a head of School of Engineering, is that I receive frequent updates, about once a quarter, on the electricity consumption in the buildings in the School of Engineering and our performance with regard to the consumption of electricity. Okay, so the College of Science, Engineering and Food Science. So there are 9 schools. So we have engineering. We also have computer science. We also have physics, chemistry, and mathematical sciences. So that would be the physical sciences and engineering. We have food and nutritional science. Food is actually very important in University College Cork. And as I said, we're in Munster, and Munster is one of the largest areas with regard to the dairy industry in the world, in Ireland. But also from a dairy production point of view, we produce a lot of milk, okay? And it is important, and so therefore food science is an important component of the university. And we have biochemistry and cell biology, and we have microbiology, and then we have BEES, Biological, Earth and Environmental Sciences. This is quite a large school within the College of CEFs, and this encompasses things like zoology, geology, environmental science. Okay. So this building here, this is the Western Gateway building, would house the mathematical sciences and computer sciences on the first 2 floors, and then floor 3 and 4 are in medicine and health. Okay, so the School of Engineering, where do we fit in? We are one of the larger schools in CEFs. So we have, so one thing I should explain, I won't be talking about it, but the architecture is included in the School of Engineering. Now, architecture is a little bit unusual in UCC, primarily because it is a joint initiative between ourselves and another university. It's called the Cork Institute of Technology. Cork Institute of Technology. It is a third level. It's not quite a university. It's a bit. I'm showing my age here, but it's like the polytechnics that used to exist in the UK. It's that type of institute. They don't have their own degree awarding powers, but they do award degrees. So architecture is a joint initiative with CIT. And the reason it's a joint initiative is that I think must be over 10 years ago now, the government wanted to increase the number of architecture schools in the country, and CIT and UCC came together to put forward a joint proposal for running a joint degree in architecture. So from a numbers point of view, architecture is included in the School of Engineering, although I actually have very little to do with it. The budget comes in and goes out. I don't know what happens there, and I try and avoid finding out what happens there. I have enough on my plate. So we have 55 academic staff. We have over 800 registered students. We have 600 undergraduates. We have 187 postgraduates. As you will see, we have quite a large research portfolio in the school. And one of the other things, one of our branches of engineering, chemical engineering, have quite a strong link with local industry, and they run courses where engineers in industry take the courses here. We have 7 postgraduate programs. As a school, we were created in 2009, and prior to that, we were 3 separate departments: the Department of Electrical and Electronic Engineering, the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering, and the Department of Process and Chemical Engineering. Okay? Well, those 3 units were brought together, and the School of Engineering was created in 2009. I put this figure up here. This is not a true reflection of the situation with regard to research, because as I will show you, a lot of our research is run through research centres, which are separate from the school, and unfortunately I don't see any of their budgets. Okay, so this would just reflect the research that is carried out in the school by the lecturers and professors who are not engaged with the research centres. So it's quite healthy, but it could be a lot better. So we've been around a while. Civil engineering, 1905, started in UCC. And as I said, food and dairy is quite important. So dairy engineering was started way back in 1927. And dairy engineering evolved over a number of decades, from dairy engineering to food engineering, and most recently to process and chemical engineering. Okay? Electrical engineering was founded in 1952. And then the 4th degree that we offer is in energy engineering, and that was first created in about 2008. Okay? So in the world rankings as a school, we do quite well. We're 160. And one of the things that's very important to us is that our undergraduate degrees are accredited by Engineers Ireland. Okay? So we produce professional engineers. And Engineers Ireland is part of the Washington Accord, so any qualification the qualifications that the students get are recognised internationally, so we produce professional engineers. So as I said, we have civil and environmental and structural engineering, electrical and electronic engineering, energy engineering, process and chemical engineering. We do not offer an undergraduate course in mechanical engineering, but we do have mechanical engineers in the school, and we do offer a master's in mechanical engineering in a small branch of mechanical engineering. So, our undergraduate 4-year degree, process and chemical engineering, civil and environmental, energy engineering, electrical and electronic. At the postgraduate level, we offer 1-year degrees in electrical and electronic engineering, obviously IT and AEC, which you will find out a lot more about today. We did run a course in marine renewable energy for a number of years, but we've merged that into the course in sustainable energy. We have the mechanical engineering, manufacturing, process and automation systems, and then we have this course, as I said, for professional engineers working in industry in pharmaceutical and biopharmaceutical engineering. Okay? Up until quite recently, the entry into the first year of these courses was directly into the first year of the course. From next year, we're going to a common first year. So students will come into a common first year engineering, and at the end of the first year, we'll decide which of the 4 courses they do. It took a while to bring that around. I think from a School of Engineering point of view, this is very important. It insulates us from the ups and downs of student demands. One of the things that's very interesting about university applications in Cork is that, for example, if Pfizer's, one of the major pharmaceutical companies, they have a number of plants in the Cork Harbour region. If they were to shut down a factory, we would see a direct reflection in the applications to process and chemical engineering. In 2008, we had the crash here in Ireland, the economic crash, and overnight, the applications to civil and environmental engineering went through the floor because the construction industry disappeared overnight. So, one of the things we notice with our incoming students is that the courses that they're interested in following is very much dictated not by their interests but by their perception of the local industry, of the demand for jobs. And that goes back to what I said earlier, about 93% of our undergraduates going on to do gaining employment and to taking courses. Okay, so over the past few years, we've brought in some commonality in the first year, and now from next year, it will be a totally common first year. Yes?
Can I just, Alicante, so you're following Bologna, yeah, more or less?
Yeah, we're following the Irish version of Bologna. Okay. I'm happy to explain our system, yes?
It might, because this, I'm doing the needs analysis for the degree. So what I'm interested to know here is in your first year, your common course is maths,
yeah.
Okay. So then are you going to, then they go into specialisation,
yes.
Which is Bologna?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So what kind of content?
Okay, so in our undergraduate degree, yeah. So I suppose I'll talk about the electronics because that's being an electronic and it's what I know most. Yeah. So in first year we do they do mathematics, they do physics, yeah. They do chemistry, yeah. And they do a computer language. Yeah. They do applied maths, basically mechanics, and they will do thermodynamics, okay. Mechanical engineering. They then also do a taster module in each of the 4 subjects. So they have an introduction to civil and structural engineering, they have an introduction to energy engineering, they have an introduction to electric, etc. Okay? So that's our first year. Then, so say you choose to do electrical engineering, in second year you would do more maths. You would do, so then we begin to start thinking about the areas of electrical and electronic engineering. So they would do power systems, they would do signals and systems, and they would start on electronics and circuit analysis.
So that's more or less the Bologna process.
Yeah. Now, why I wasn't too sure what you were talking about is because Bologna normally means 3 plus 2, yeah?
No.
No?
4, actually 4 plus 2.
Okay.
This is a 2-year master, 120
credits, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're introducing a new thing which I'll talk about in a minute. Okay, but that's our current situation with regard to the first year.
Okay, thank you for that.
If there's any other questions, please interrupt me at any stage. If I'm talking too fast, right. So as I said, all of our programs are accredited. So for most of the programs, for electrical and electronic engineering, for civil and environmental, structural and environmental, and for energy engineering, the most important accreditation is Engineers Ireland. For chemical and pharmaceutical and process engineering, the IChemE in the UK is very important, the Institute of Chemical Engineers. And we are also accredited to MEng level by the IChemE. Right. The other thing that's important about our courses is that currently, in the third year, there is work placement in all of the programs. It's compulsory in 3 of the programs. It's optional in civil and structural and environmental engineering. Because of the demand for engineers, I would say 99% of the placements are paid. So the students, for example, in electrical and electronic, in energy engineering, and in process and chemical engineering, they would have been in the workplace, the third year students, from the 1st of April. And they have a 5-month placement, so April, May, June, July, and August. And in, I would say this year, 100% it's paid. Okay? And the number of companies, so Xilinx is a microelectronics company, Analog Devices a microelectronics, EMC, who are now owned by Dell, are here in Cork. They take students. So Lilly, Pfizer, Intel up in Kildare take students. But then we also have students who might end up in the US on work placements. We have students who've gone to MIT for their work placement to a research group. Okay? We then obviously have the construction industry. Hagerty's is one of the large construction firms in Cork. PM Group, Project Management Group, they do a lot in both the structural engineering but also chemical engineering. They take people. And then on the energy side, the ESB is the utilities company for all of Ireland, and they would take some of our graduates. And AirGrid is also one of the utility companies in Ireland. So you can see that our graduates get quite a good placement opportunity at the end of third year in our programs. So, research. So, rightly or wrongly, the university and the environment that we're working in, a lot of research occurs outside of the School of Engineering. It occurs in research institutes and research centres. So there are a number of research institutes and research centres that staff in the School of Engineering are involved in. I'll talk about the one that I'm involved in. I'm involved in Infant, which is based in the maternity hospital here to the west of Cork City. It's a group of engineers, obstetricians, neonatologists, neurophysiologists, computer scientists, working together to try and improve the health outcomes of both mothers, babies, and newborn babies. Okay, and there are two of us involved, and there are all my research in that area goes through Infant, and Infant is funded by Science Foundation Ireland, and it has a separate director who I report to with regard to my research. But then for 90% of my job, I report to the head of college as head of School of Engineering. I suppose from my point of view as head of School of Engineering, the biggest problem for me is that all the overheads go with Infant and very few flow through the School of Engineering. Where it is of benefit to the School of Engineering is all of the engineering PhD students are registered in the School of Engineering. So it's a particular, I know arrangements like this exist in other universities, but this is the route that UCC has gone down. And we have some very large research centres based in Cork. So Tyndall National Institute is the microelectronics research centre for the whole of Ireland. And that would have a lot of independent researchers, but also academic staff involved in Tyndall. MARI, which I'll talk about, is the Marine and Renewable Energy Institute. That is based in a building called the Beaufort Building, which is down in the lower Cork Harbour. Okay? You have the ERI, the Environmental Research Institute, which is based here just to the west of the campus, and that also has a lot of staff and students. So these are the research links of where members of staff in the School of Engineering carry out their research. Okay. But then you could have things like, a number of years ago, as well as biomedical signal processing, I did work in cryptography. Okay. All of my cryptography research was based in the School of Engineering. All of my biomedical signal processing research was based in Infant. So it's quite a fluid situation. But the important thing is